Y'all, the Odyssey is so juicy. Like, it just gets better and better. It's just so intertwined, and the more you know about it, the juicier the story gets. You know who built those walls of Troy? Let me tell you. We are going to meet King Laomedon, okay? And he is the most Mr. Krabs, money-hungry king you will ever meet. This man looks at you and sees all the profit he can make off of you, because that's Laomedon. Laomedon notices that Troy just happens to be in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, in the middle of ancient Greece. And you know what? He sees the opportunity to make profit out of where Troy is located on the ancient Greek maps. It just happens to be in the middle. So what can Troy become for other countries? A middleman. So any type of trading going on, you got to pass Troy. And if you pass Troy, you got to pay a certain tax. You got to pay a certain fee. Even if you're just sailing past it, you got to pay that tax fee. So in doing this, in making a fee and a tax and profit and all this stuff for anything and everything, Mr. Krabs makes Troy the most richest and wealthiest city in ancient Greece. Now, because of this, Laomedon doesn't have the greatest reputation. Actually, in fact, a lot of people don't really like him because of how money hungry he is. If you lived in ancient Greece, you probably owed Laomedon something. So he's making all this money, Troy's rich, he's sitting on his throne, he's me money, right? He's doing the Mr. Krabs thing. And this random guy who's like poor shows up and he's like, hey, you got a good thing going on here, but you're missing something. And Laomedon's like, I'm listening. What am I missing? This guy says, well, you're one of the richest cities in ancient Greece. Aren't you afraid of, like, being attacked? And Laomedon's like, keep talking. What are you trying to sell me? And guy's like, well, you know, you don't really have defense. You don't really have a strong army. And you're one of the richest countries in the current times. So at any moment, even if you don't have enemies right now, someone's going to get the bright idea to invade. You need some walls. I can build you these walls. It will only cost you half of Troy's wealth. Laomedon almost has a heart attack right there. Half of Troy's wealth. If Mr. Krabs has a heart attack for missing his $1 million, what do you think Laomedon's reaction is to finding out that these walls are going to cost half of Troy's wealth? And the contractor's like, listen to me, it's going to be important. You need these walls. I'm going to make sure no enemy lines can get past these walls. They're going to be so tall and so wide, they ain't going to be able to get through. And Laomedon's like, okay, if you think it's worth it, how long is that going to take to make? And the contractor says, a year. And Laomedon's like, go for it. Laomedon doesn't know nothing about contracting, okay? He doesn't know anything about buildings. He's about money. So, you know, he'll like look outside and he sees that the contractor's getting his work done. He is working 9 to 5. Like, the contractor's getting his work done. And he only has like a couple of men working with him. But Laomedon's not really paying attention. The thing is, these walls, in retrospect, should have taken like centuries to build. So the fact that it took a year is a little weird, but Laomedon's not even thinking about it. A year goes by and the walls are finished. And the contractor comes back. He's like, walls are done. And King Laomedon's like, great. Contractor lays down his receipt and he's like, pay me what you owe me. Half of Troy's riches. Laomedon, he goes, right. Give me 1 second. He pulls out his own receipt. And the contractor's like, what is this? You used up Trojan materials, you're on Trojan sand, which there's a tax for just standing here. And he starts taxing this man. Tax after tax after tax. Because this is what Mr. Krabs is good at, okay? He knows how to make his money. And I mean, he thought of everything to tax this contractor on. You stayed in Troy, tax. You used Troy's goods to make the walls, tax. The supplies, tax. Sitting on Trojan soil, tax. Tax after tax after tax after tax. He somehow made the bill larger than the bill the contractor had originally written up. So the contractor owes Laomedon money. You guys are not ready. You guys are not ready for who built this wall. He looks at Laomedon. He's like, you sure you want to do this? And Laomedon's like, money, money, money. Money. I haven't revealed who it is yet. Oops. Contractor is, drumroll please. Poseidon! Poseidon! It's Poseidon. Why is Poseidon cosplaying as a contractor in ancient Greece doing man's work when he is a god? A year before, he pissed off Zeus, and Zeus was like, as your punishment, you're gonna live as a man for a year, and you're gonna have to do hard labor for a year. And so Poseidon's, like, walking around, he's like, oh man, I love Troy. I'm gonna build Troy a good set of walls, and I'm gonna make sure it takes up a year, and I'm gonna be happy that I did it because I love Troy. And then this happens. Gods, they are ruthless, especially Poseidon. Poseidon doesn't reveal himself to Laomedon when Laomedon moves like this. Instead, Poseidon plays the waiting game, the gods game, if you will. Because, again, time is actually on the god's side because they don't die. Time is forever for gods. So Poseidon is like, you know what? I'm gonna just wait this one out. When the Trojan War happens, Odysseus is the one who destroys Troy, and then he runs into Poseidon. So much going on. But yeah, Poseidon built the walls of Troy. Time is on the god's side because they don't run out of time, gods. And that's going to come in handy with the story of Calypso, which I'm going to get to soon. I promise.